General Marcus Holt declared there would be no air support, no jets, no hope. His words struck like a guillotine over the comms. SEAL operators clenched their jaws as Scourge advanced closer. They scanned the sky, empty, silent, unforgiving. Yet, on the distant edge of the base, a hangar door groaned open. Dust spilled from rusted tracks. A pilot nobody recalled stood in the shadows, her helmet tucked under one arm, her gaze fixed on a map glowing red with friendly units on the brink of obliteration. They thought Captain Nora Kane was long retired, erased from the ranks. But tonight, the Warthog would roar her name again. What happened next would sear itself into the history of every soldier on that field. Before we dive deeper, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? And if stories of hidden warriors rising when all hope is lost keep you on the edge of your seat, hit subscribe. This is only the beginning. The order was final. No air support. Do you copy? No air support. General Marcus Holt's voice thundered like a gavel across the comms. It wasn't a suggestion or a pause, it was a death knell. Down in the valley, 30 miles east of the border, SEAL Team Bravo understood the stakes. They were alone, cut off. Scourge's armor and infantry tightened their grip with cold precision. The sun sank fast, staining the mountains crimson as mortars crept toward their position. Chief Javier Cruz ducked behind a shattered wall, headset pressed tight. His men looked to him, but all he heard was Holt's verdict. No air support. He spat into the dust. Copy, he growled, voice rough. Every SEAL knew the truth. Without jets, without gunships' roar, they were just targets waiting to be erased. Yet, 2 miles away, in a forgotten hangar on the base's edge, another figure listened, and she refused to let Holt's words be final. Captain Nora Kane stood alone in Hangar 14's dim cavern. Dust swirled in the fading light, catching the faded shark mouth on the A-10 Warthog. The jet had sat cold for months, decommissioned, a relic of a war buried in silence. Kane shouldn't have been there. On paper, she was a logistics officer now, desk, clipboard, endless forms. The brass had erased her name years ago. But her hands remembered the throttle's weight. Her chest tightened at jet fuel's tang, and her hazel eyes burned with memories of missions scrubbed from reports. She'd flown low, too low, saving a platoon when no one else dared. She'd felt the GAU-8 Avengers recoil rip through armor like cloth. She'd heard soldiers' gratitude, and their silence when they didn't make it. Now, with Holt's order echoing, Kane felt something break inside. No air support, she whispered, jaw tight. We'll see. She climbed the ladder, each rung a defiance. Her gloves gripped familiar steel. Sliding into the cockpit was less choice, more instinct, like gravity pulling her home. The canopy hissed shut. Systems flickered awake. The Warthog groaned, an old beast stirring. Kane's fingers danced over switches. Fuel pumps hummed. Avionics blinked green. Holt said no air support. He didn't know she was still here. Across the valley, Cruz's team scrambled to reposition. Scourge's APCs growled closer, engines rumbling in the dusk. Private Liam Chen, the youngest SEAL, stared at the empty sky. Sir, they're not coming, are they? Cruz couldn't lie. He gripped Chen's shoulder. We hold as long as we can. But his heart counted seconds. Back at the hangar, Kane checked her comms. Silence. No clearance, no tower. Taking off now meant more than disobeying, it meant torching her career, maybe her freedom. Court-martial loomed. Her hand hovered over the starter. Then a memory caught through, a soldier's voice, years ago, his convoy burning. You were the only one who showed up. Don't stop now. Kane's eyes hardened. She hit the switch. The A-10's engines coughed, then roared. Dust blasted the hangar. The floor shook. Mechanics turned, jaws dropping. The forgotten jet moved, and Captain Nora Kane was about to remind them all. In the valley, men braced for death. In the hangar, a woman braced to defy. Chief Javier Cruz's earpiece hissed with Scourge's mocking laughter, broadcast openly across frequencies. No angels in the sky for you tonight, Americans. No savior. You'll burn with the sunset. Private Liam Chen's head sank. Sir, I don't want to die here, he whispered. Cruz felt the same dread, but as another mortar screamed overhead, he roared, spread out. Make them earn it. Then the ground quaked, not from shells, not from tanks, but from something primal, alive. The GAU-8 Avenger's barrel spun, a predator's growl. Every soldier, friend and foe, froze, eyes skyward. Through the haze, the shark mouth emerged. The warthog was airborne. Captain Nora Kane was airborne. And the forgotten pilot had just shredded General Marcus Holt's order. But could one woman in her warthog stand against an entire armored division? The first strafing run split the valley like lightning cracking stone. The GAU-8's roar wasn't sound, it was cataclysm. 7 barrels whirled, spitting depleted uranium rounds at nearly 4,000 per minute. Each shell struck with divine fury, a hammer from the heavens. Scourge's armor, creeping with arrogance, disintegrated. An APC exploded, its turret hurled skyward. Infantry scattered, their taunts drowned by screams as dirt and smoke erupted around them. For the SEALs, it was as if the sky itself had chosen to fight. Cruz raised his head, soot-streaked, disbelief carved into his face. No way, he muttered. Chen, trembling, clutched his arm. Sir, is that an A-10? General Marcus Holt had declared no air support, but someone had just obliterated his command. The warthog screamed overhead, its broad wings cutting through smoke, shark mouth snarling with wrath. Nora Kane's hands were steady, her pulse syncing with the cannon's rhythm. Every round was a vow, they were not forsaken. Not tonight. In the cockpit, Kane was wordless. Years of instinct guided her, switch, glance, adjust, fire. She flew low, dangerously low, skimming the ridge by mere meters, daring the mountains to claim her. She'd always been that pilot, the one who flew closer, lower, deadlier, her headset crackled. Unidentified warthog, this is command tower. You're flying unauthorized. State your call sign now. Kane ignored it. The voice grew sharper. This is a direct violation. Disengage, or face contempt. She killed the channel. Only the valley's trapped voices mattered. She switched to the emergency frequency for units in extremis. This is Warthog inbound. Bravo team, mark your position with smoke. I've got you. A pause. Then Cruz's ragged voice broke through. Warthog, who the hell? He cut off. No time for questions. Copy. White smoke. North wall. 2:00, on the ground, a canister hissed, white smoke curling skyward. Kane banked hard, throttles full. The warthog groaned, but she aligned the ridge in her sights. The Avenger spun again. The ridge vanished in fire, scourge squads erased in a tungsten storm. The air reeked of burning steel and cordite. SEALs, moments from death, surged forward, seizing the chaos to regroup. Cruz barked, move. She's given us a window, don't waste it. Chen stared skyward, eyes wide. Who is she, sir? Cruz didn't answer. He didn't know. But a memory stirred, whispers of a pilot who flew like no other, a ghost scrubbed from rosters, her name struck from honors. The brass denied her, but soldiers remembered. Could it be her? The forgotten pilot's legend was meant to be buried. Tonight, it was roaring back to life. Back at command, pandemonium erupted. General Marcus Holt slammed his fist onto the table, maps rattling. Who authorized that takeoff? A young lieutenant faltered. Sir, we don't know. That warthog hasn't been flight ready in months. No pilots cleared. Then find out who's in it. Holt roared, his face paling. Deep down, he suspected only one pilot was bold enough, skilled enough, reckless enough to fly an unauthorized A-10 into a blazing valley at dusk. And Captain Nora Kane wasn't supposed to exist anymore. Eye in the valley, Scourge regrouped. Tanks pivoted, turrets swinging skyward. Anti-air units rolled forward, itching to clip the Warthog's wings. Nora Kane saw the lock warnings flash across her HUD. She gritted her teeth, yanking the stick, pulling the hog into a climbing turn that strained every rivet in its frame. Missiles streaked, too close. Her comms buzzed with Chief Javier Cruz's urgent voice. "Warthog, they're painting you heavy. Pull back." But Kane didn't retreat. She dove into the fire's teeth. The GAU-8 Avengers spun, tanks erupting one by one, their ammo cooking off in fireballs that lit the valley like a second dawn. The shockwave rocked friend and foe, a testament to the Hog's brutal power. Bravo team ducked, shielding their faces from the heat. When they looked up, the armor was gone. Only the Hog circled, a predator refusing to abandon its prey. Holt had tried to erase her. Scourge tried to kill her. Yet Nora Kane still flew. She knew this was just the start. Fuel was low, ammo dwindling, and heavier firepower lurked in the mountains. Bravo team was still trapped. She'd bought them minutes, not salvation. As Kane swung the Hog for another run, one thought cut sharper than cannon fire: how long can one forgotten pilot hold back an army? The Warthog circled low, wings defiant, engines howling like a beast that wouldn't die. Smoke trailed where anti-air fire grazed her fuselage. Kane's grip was steady, but her knuckles whitened beneath her gloves. Her ammo counter flashed red, dangerously low. The Avengers' long bursts burned hundreds of rounds per second. Rationing meant giving Scourge room to breathe, and one breath could end Bravo team. Below, Cruz shoved his men toward a farmhouse's shattered husk, the only cover left. "Move! Keep moving!" he bellowed. Mortars shook the earth, dirt stinging their eyes. Private Liamchin collapsed behind a wall, gasping, hands shaking. "Sir, I thought we were done." "Don't think," Cruz snapped, pulling him to cover. "That pilot bought us minutes. We make them count." But Cruz knew minutes weren't enough. The Hog had risen from the grave, but how long could it fight alone? Kane's HUD screamed new warnings. Her RWR lit up, a heavier, deadlier radar lock pulsing. Mobile SAM launchers were moving onto the ridge. Her voice stayed calm on the emergency channel. "Bravo team, be advised. They've rolled out anti-air. My window's shrinking." Cruz cursed under his breath. "Copy. Do what you can, Warthog." Kane's lips curled in a bitter smirk behind her mask. "Do what I can." That was her story, never meant to fly this long, survive this many runs, or live past the day her squadron was erased. Yet here she was. She banked, lining up the ridge, its heat signatures glowing like a plague in her targeting pod. She marked 3 launchers, the GAU-8 spinning with feathered, precise bursts. Shells ripped the ridge apart, obliterating the first SAM launcher in a fireball. The second dissolved in smoke. But the third endured, its crew scrambling. A missile hissed skyward, slashing toward Captain Nora Kane like a blade. She wrenched the stick, the Warthog screaming in protest, airframe shuddering as if its wings might tear free. The missile streaked past by meters, exploding behind her tail. Shrapnel clattered against the fuselage, alarms shrieking. Kane steadied the jet. The Warthog was wounded but not done. Neither was she. Back at command, General Marcus Holt's rage erupted. He slammed his palm onto the map table. "She's gone rogue. She'll get herself shot down and ruin my operation." A colonel cleared his throat. "Sir, with respect, she's saving our men." Holt's glare could have scorched metal. "She's defying a direct order. If she survives, I'll court-martial her myself." But beneath his fury, a truth gnawed, one he'd never voice. Fear. If Kane succeeded, it would expose his call as wrong, his courage as hollow. That was a threat sharper than Scourged. I am the valley. Bravo team regrouped in the farmhouse ruins, bloodied, drained, but alive. Chief Javier Cruz pressed his earpiece. "Warthog, you still up there?" Static crackled, then Kane's voice cut through, calm, unwavering. "Still flying." Silence gripped the seals. That voice, low, clipped, undeniably female, stirred something deep. Command had abandoned them, leaders had betrayed them, but a ghost above refused to quit. Private Liam Chin whispered, "Sir, it's her, isn't it? The one they talk about. The pilot who flew lower than anyone, who cared only for the ground troops." His eyes gleamed in the firelight. The one they erased. Cruz met his gaze sharply. Who? You know, the legend they buried. Cruz stayed silent. He didn't need to speak, his gut told him Chin was right. Legends clawed back when needed most, and tonight, one had returned, but legends don't always survive their retelling. Scourge's Sam's rallied. Another lock screamed across Kane's HUD. Too low for chaff, too sluggish for flares. She slashed throttle, dropping altitude so sharply her stomach lurched. The missile overshot, bursting above the ridge. But her tricks were thinning. Fuel at 38%, ammo at 22%. Options, none. Still, Kane refused to turn back. General Holt's words, "no air support," had doomed these men. She gritted her teeth. Not while I'm breathing. She aligned for another run, crosshairs dancing over the ridge, locking the last launcher's glowing signature. She squeezed the trigger. The GAU-8 barked, and the launcher vanished in flames. But victory cost her. The Warthog's right wing quaked violently, a hydraulic warning flashing. Smoke trailed as she pulled up, barely airborne. Below, Bravo team erupted in desperate cheers. Chin raised his rifle skyward, shouting, "She's got our 6." But Cruz didn't join. He tracked the Warthog limping through the dusk, smoke carving a dark wound across the sunset. His gut twisted. Scourge wasn't done, and soon Kane would battle more than an army. She'd fight her failing jet. Black smoke streamed from the Warthog's right wing, curling into the night like a distress signal. Kane trimmed hard, the jet responding sluggishly, a battered warrior denying its wounds. Warning lights flared, fuel bleeding, hydraulics faltering. Yet the Warthog flew on. In the ruins, Cruz followed its silhouette slicing the dusk. "She's hit," he muttered. Chin gripped his rifle, voice cracking. "Then why's she still up there?" Cruz didn't answer. He knew why, no one else would. One more run might save Bravo, or end her. Fresh locks flared on Captain Nora Kane's HUD. She caught the glint of man-portable air defense systems in an orchard below. No time to hesitate. She nosed the Warthog down, cannon barking in sharp bursts. Trees shredded, 2 launchers obliterated in fiery blooms. A third missile launched, streaking upward. Kane dumped flares, knifed the jet lower, and felt the missile detonate harmlessly above. The airframe groaned under the strain. "Stay with me," she whispered to the Warthog. Fuel at 35%, ammo at 20%, and Scourge still hunted her. She switched to an old emergency frequency. "Spur Kilo, this is Warthog. Hot pit, you read? Need ammo, fuel, anything." Static hissed, then a gruff voice answered. "About time someone called. This is Sergeant Malik Jones. Strips rough, lights worse, but we've got gas and belts. You coming quiet or loud?" "Loud," Kane replied, dragging a wing. "Copy. We'll light you a runway with headlights and guts." She banked from the valley. Chief Javier Cruz heard the engines fade, dread knotting his chest. "Warthog, confirm you're not leaving us." Static, then Kane's voice, steady and clipped. "Bravo, I'll be back. Hang tight." The forward arming and refueling point was a cracked service road turned lifeline. Headlights lined the asphalt, trucks angled into a makeshift runway. Sergeant Malik Jones and his crew waved her in with glowing wands. Kane dropped gear, one leg slammed down unevenly but held. She flared, tires screeching, sparks flying as the Warthog fishtailed, then settled. Hot pit, no shutdown. Fuel lines hissed, pumping life into the jet. Cruz slammed fresh belts into the GAU-8 Avenger, rockets onto rails. The Warthog trembled, alive and rearing. Jones climbed the ladder halfway, eyes locking with Kane's through the canopy. You owe me this jet back. It'll come with dents, she shot back. Command said no, but this forgotten road said yes. Headlights sliced the dark. A truck roared onto the strip, MPs shouting, caught between orders and the blazing reality. Jones didn't waver. Clear the chocks. Let her roll. Kane shoved the throttles forward. The Warthog lumbered, engine straining. The truck closed in, blocking her path. Jones stood in the beams, arms spread, a human barricade daring the steel. At the last second, a soldier yanked the driver's door, forcing the truck to swerve. Kane pulled back hard. The Warthog bounced, wing-tipping perilously, then clawed free of the broken road. The altimeter ticked up. She was airborne again. The valley waited. Bravo team waited. So did Scourge. But a new lock tone pierced her headset, low, cold, unyielding. Not a shoulder-fired threat. Not a mobile launcher. Worse. Kane's eyes locked on her RWR. A radar-guided SAM, buried deep in the ridgeline, painting her Warthog with lethal precision. Scourge commanders had sworn it wasn't in this sector, but there it was. Her gut tightened. With a limping wing and failing hydraulics, the jet couldn't outrun it. She'd flown into hell before, but never into a missile built to erase her entirely. Below, Bravo team huddled in the ruins. Private Liamchin flinched at the lock's distant wail echoing through Kane's comms. Sir, he whispered to Cruz, that sound, it's different. Cruz's face hardened. Chief Javier Cruz had heard that SAM lock tone before. It's big. Too big, he muttered. But before despair could take root, the Warthog roared back into the valley. Captain Nora Kane flew low, her engines spitting fire, her silhouette slicing the dusk like a dagger. Bravo team raised their heads, hope and dread entwined. In the cockpit, Kane's mind outpaced her instruments. She couldn't dodge indefinitely, couldn't climb with this battered airframe. But she could outsmart it. The Warthog was built tough, ugly, slow, armored to endure hits that would shred sleeker jets. Maybe it could take one more gamble. She banked toward the ridge, targeting pod locking the SAM. Its crew scrambled below, loading another missile. She aligned her sights. The GAU-8 spun, tungsten shells tearing the hillside. 1, 2, 3 bursts, the crew scattered in flames. The launcher reeled, damaged but alive. A tone screamed. Too late. A missile launched, streaking skyward. Kane yanked left, the Warthog shuddering violently. The missile closed fast, radar-guided, ignoring her flares. 10 seconds to impact. You've got more in you, she whispered to the jet, not herself. At 6 seconds, she slashed throttle, the Warthog dipping, wings trembling as lift faded. The missile overcorrected, diving too steeply. Kane slammed the throttle forward, engines bellowing. The Warthog clawed upward. The missile tore past, exploding ahead. Shrapnel raked the nose cone, clattering like hail. Alarms blared, but Kane was still alive, the ridge blurred by. She banked again, locking the launcher. This time, she held the trigger down. The Avenger roared, a sound that swallowed fear itself. The ridge vanished in smoke and flame. When the dust settled, the launcher was gone. Below, Bravo team erupted in cheers, relief flooding their battered frames. Cruz exhaled, but only halfway. He knew every win carried a price. Kane was paying it. Her console glowed like a warning light mosaic, red, amber, furious. Fuel below 20%, ammo nearly spent, hydraulics teetering on collapse. She couldn't keep this up alone. A voice cut through the static. Warthog, this is Tower. Disengage immediately, General Marcus Holt barked, his tone not rage but fear. You've defied direct orders. Return now, or face charges. Understood? Kane's lips curled beneath her mask. Court-martial me later, she snapped, voice ice. Men are still alive down there. The channel fell silent. Holt could take her rank, her freedom, but not her resolved eye in the ruins. Cruz pressed his earpiece. Warthog, you're saving us, but were pinned from 3 sides, low on ammo. His voice broke. "If you've got one more run, make it count." Kane glanced at her gauges, fuel flashing, ammo at 120 rounds, barely 2 bursts. She thought of Bravo Team, of Private Liam Chen's shaky voice, of ghosts from past missions haunting every cockpit. "Copy," she whispered. The Warthog dipped, skimming treetops, engines howling, shark mouth gleaming in the firelight. Scourge squads unleashed fire, tracers slashing past her canopy. Kane didn't flinch. She locked onto the densest enemy cluster, armor and infantry, and fired. The Avenger roared. The valley exploded, steel and earth erupting in a storm that obliterated Scourge's front line. Silence followed. Survivors didn't advance, they fled. Bravo Team lifted their heads, the battlefield theirs for the first time. Cruz keyed his mic, voice trembling. "Warthog, you did it." He stopped. Kane didn't reply. Her Warthog limped on, smoke thickening, right wing sagging. Warning tones shrieked. Captain Nora Kane had given Bravo Team the valley, but at what cost? As the SEALs rallied, she faced her fiercest battle yet, bringing her crippled Warthog home. The jet staggered through the night, a wounded beast trailing thick smoke ribbons from its right wing. Every console alarm screamed, hydraulics critical, fuel at fumes. Kane gripped the stick tighter, willing the Warthog to respond. It obeyed, barely. Below, Bravo Team watched the jet's silhouette limp across the sky. For the first time in hours, Scourge was retreating. Chief Javier Cruz exhaled, voice low. "She bought us our lives." Private Liam Chen stared upward, whispering, "But can she save her own?" The valley was secure. The sky was not. Kane's headset crackled, command tower again. General Marcus Holt's voice cut sharp, desperate. "Warthog, you're out of time. Divert to base now. You won't make it in that state." Kane nearly laughed. "Won't make it." She'd heard that in Afghanistan, Syria, unnamed valleys buried in secrecy. Every impossible mission, she'd flown lower, longer, fiercer. This Warthog wasn't just a jet, it was her vow to men abandoned by all else. She wouldn't let it die on enemy soil. She turned toward the forward strip where Sergeant Malik Jones's crew waited. The damaged wing dragged, the horizon tilting perilously. Kane corrected, teeth clenched. The landing gear warning blared, right main damaged, flaps sluggish, options fading. She keyed her mic, voice steady. "Spur Kilo, this is Warthog inbound. Clear me." Jones replied instantly. "Runway's yours. We'll light it with everything we've got." Headlights and flood lamps blazed, turning the cracked road into a beacon. Jones's crew lined it with vehicles, forging a jagged path through the dark. The sight cracked something in Kane's chest, people risking all, not from duty, but belief in her. She wasn't forgotten here. She lowered what gear still functioned, the airframe groaning in protest. She flared, dropped, and bounced hard. Sparks sprayed as the wingtip grazed asphalt. Kane fought the skid, muscles straining. The tires caught. The Warthog screamed down the strip, wobbling but rolling. It stopped, and silence fell, broken only by the ticking of hot metal. Kane sat frozen in the cockpit, chest heaving, eyes burning. Jones's voice came soft through the headset. "Welcome home, Warthog." Back at command, General Marcus Holt stared at the radar feed, disbelief etched on his face. His no-air support order lay in ruins. His career might endure, but his authority was ash. In the valley, Bravo Team moved out, alive because one pilot refused to be erased. Cruz keyed his mic, words for her alone. "Whoever you are, thank you." Kane removed her helmet, sweat streaking her face. The night's weight crashed down, but so did a truth: she was never forgotten. The world always remembers the warrior who flies when all others falter.